start. Let me go over to number Lamed Daled. So he says on number Lamed Daled, he says, Rei l'cholon b'shem sharmami rashbi. This is a b'ma'ayin ganim. He says what? This is what it says. Inun Amr Nekeh. He says, Sar Reshe Sha'amar Daniel. This is referring to the hairs of the head of Eric Anpin. Omash Shemefarash Lashon Inun. So when we say the they, Shechoizel Al Hasa'ara Seyaducha B'Palasach Sha'amar Daniel. So it's referring to those hairs that Daniel said. Rei B'Ha'arach HaKodemis. So look what we said previously. Rei Od B'Rabbi B'Mami Rashbi Al Idrizuta. Shekasa B'Zelalosh, and this is what he writes. V'afal pi shechakoisiv oimer b'atik yomim yosif v'seir reishik amanaki. So he says atik yomim, which over there in the Idris they keep mixing that between Eric Anpin and atik yomim. V'idach l'mala b'yarn l'b'ki amanaki hu b'reisha the Eric Anpin. V'lo v'kosiv omer shuhu b'atik yomim. But here it says it's in atik yomim. So what's pshat? Who can be Sheva Yomim the Atics of the 7 days, which is another day, it's another word for Sifra. Muluvasha B'Sheva de Gogol to the Erikanpin. The Hen Kasiv V'Seir Reshe Ka'amanaki. Afal Pi She'enu Zu Rosho the Atik Yomim. It's not the Rosh of Atik Yomim, even though that he says that. Ella Reisha the Eric Anpin, we're talking about the Reisha the Eric Anpin, is Gala Reisha the Eric Anpin, but this is where they're manifest. They could see them in the Reisha the Eric Anpin, Kasiv B'Bei B'Sai Reisha Kanamanaki, Adkan. Rei Od B'Mabusharim, he has more on that, but B'Orim, more on that. Number Lamed Hey. So let's go to number Lamed Vav. Number Lamed Vav says, very Rashbi, over there it explains the Inun Amr Naki Talin B'Shikula. That's the whole piece from Rebbe Shimon. Zera v'chatika the Rebbe v'chuchu b'sei Rosh Shehim Amr Naki the lo mis tab konzabazeh. They're not tangled in any way. But Talin B'Shikula the little b'naveh b'nima b'minima b'sa'ara min sa'ara adkan. Now, that we've seen, and let's see what else. One moment here, a little adjustment on my camera. And let me go back over here. Okay, let's see what I can do. So it's understood from this, the Mefarish Indian, the Kiyus, Semer Shel Amanaki, that it's really talking about the purity or the cleanliness of this Amanaki, Sa'aros Semer. That when the tzemer is clean, I guess he means to say that it causes that the wool does not cling to each other. They don't get tangled. Now the whole idea of zebedilug is what happened there? Is it over or what? Okay, how much more time do we have?
Oh, actually, this is it. Okay.
Okay, so we'll come back to this on the other side. bread is horrible. This is the one I want. Where is it? It's not here. There's the one.
All right, I'm standing here in front of the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C., and inside is the first jury trial that was brought forth by special counsel John Durham in his ongoing quest to get to the bottom of the FBI's alleged spying against the Trump campaign. And between what we were able to learn in that trial, as well as what we've been able to piece together over the past 3 years, we here at the Epic Times were able to create this special report right here, which exposes the strategy of the people that targeted Trump's campaign, the methods.
I think still that we have to work out a way to make this work for ourselves. And I'm thinking that the way that we need to do this is we need to really start reading it with the notes as we're reading it if we have questions about it. Okay, so the first thing here is that the Rebbe Shimon just has, 5 words here. Inun Amr Nakeh Talim B'Shikula. So first he starts and wants to talk about what Inun means. And then what does it mean to be Amr Nakeh? Right? So he says, let's start from here. He said, Atika Revi Hu Gumar V'Tachlis Atikun Shal Shlosha Tikunim Rishonim So this is like, he says, this is the conclusion of whatever was happening in the first three. Tala de Bedocha, Kumba de Vira, it says the Gugolta, so, excuse me, the Gugolta goes first. So this tikon is actually the hairs of Erikanpen, and Niska Bepasuk, Rosha Ka'amar Nakay. So here we have that the head of his head is like Amar Nakay. So we really want to know what Amar Nakay means. And he's saying is that they're Italian Bishikula. That's basically what it is. Is that all of them are independent and equal, and they're not tangled in any way. Clean wool. So they're not all tangled. Talin b'shikula, they have the same length. V'him teluya the b'shulashim merosh erikanpin b'shikul echad b'shavas, so they're all going straight down or together. The hainish ein ser echad arach yosim mechavero. V'inyan tikun azer shal saras hu ki kuvar nizbar la'el inyan sheva tikuni gugolta. We already said there are 7 tikun in the gugolta. Shehim hastaros v'levushim, there are hidden places v'levushim and clothings. Hamamatim or ha'elyon, that service to limit down the upper light. So this looks to me like it could be something where in order to bring life to the malachim that died. So he explains that it's because they're actually berurim, I guess they come from the malachim. Let's see. This is what this tikkun is. So we know this story, that there are channels, very thin channels, so it causes a limitation of light going down. By a day Cain, and through this way, there's possibility for the malachim that died, and to come back to life, and to become performing properly the Zecha B'Tikun Amanaki. So the Amanaki is this channel going downwards. Not that, only that, Ela Tikun Zeh Shel HaSa'aros, this Tikun, which is the one that has to do with the hairs, who Gamar HaTikun Shel Shlosha Tikunim and Rishonim. It actually makes, I guess, it bundles them up, or what? It's the conclusion, or the final act. How about that? It's the final act of the Shlosha Tikunim and Rishonim, which is the Golda, Tala the Badocha, and Kuma the Avira, all of those which were Mizmayat, the light. But he says that they're still inside in the skull of Erikanpin. So that's their thing. They're generating this hismatus of light, and they're moving the light along. And then now, but they're still inside. And now this is where the lights start to go outward. Now I have a note on number mem, which I thought might have a question for me. It says va'od, and he said furthermore, this is the true tikkun. Why? To bring life to the malachim that died. Why? Because where the sa'aros come from, nimshachim min birurich hamalach shemesa, they're all coming from berurim. So in other words, the DNA is a match. Ashan is baradu, because what we're doing is that this tikkun, what's going on, Ashan is baradu of the rosh erikanpin that went into the rosh of erikanpin. Va'ata heim b'na'asim bebechinas sa'aros, and now they're coming out from the inside of the head of erikanpin as the aspect of hair, shehem ma'avrim sarim, which are very narrow channels, l'mayata or ha'elyon, which serve to limit the upper light. So if you go through the openings, I guess down at the bottom of these hairs, yotzel or, the light comes out from there. And what does this light do? This light comes and it brings kiyus to Malach Shemesa v'Lasach them and to build them back again, bring out more berurim. V'nimsa ki ata chayidecha b'tikun the revi amar nake. So therefore, from this fourth tikun, yesh kevar koyach lemalachim shemesu l'kabel the or ha'elyon, and already have the ability to be able to be makabel the or ha'elyon, below koyim l'chem, but not before that time. Now I had a note here to look at number mem. So I don't know. Let's see it. So he said, so this is the secret going back to the Parsha. Because I've already told you, I'll let you know. Now he used these words. He says that the hairs the hairs are coming from Berurim from the Malachim, and then he says the Gevuros, Hachem Yatsu, the Gevuros go out. The Derek Nikver Hasa'aras Chaladuch V'Yatzaho or El HaMalachim Shalamatim Erik Anpin V'Hachiyosim. So it's through these openings. I'm trying to figure out what the Gevuros, what he meant there. Ki Ha'or Mismayit B'Tzeitzu M'Aber Tsar Al Nikve Hasar Canal. So meaning that's the Gevurah. The Gevurah is the Hismatus. Kasa'aros Haim Tikun the Hametes, because the hairs are the true Tikun. The Hakios, the Malachim, that bring actually the Chios to the Malachim. V'aza Yedecha B'Sa'aros Elu, because through these hairs, Koyebechem Koyach L'Kabbalah, or they had the ability to be able to receive the light. Below Koyin L'Chem, but that's the phrase, but not before that. Rak Ad Zeh Tikun the Revi, until you get to that Tikun there's no ability for any of the lights that are coming for the other three tikkunim to be able to receive. So he said the Revi'ah the Erik Anpin until you get to this fourth one. So this is where the hairs are coming out from this fourth. So he says Kaniska v'az hayakoyach bechem b'malachim shemesa. Now there is ability for the malachim that may be the Kabbalah or to be able to receive the light adkan. Vansham Od, he goes on. B'chein v'rei b'kitzer b'shem amari Rashbi. He says al idrizuta ansham. He says v'inyan ha'sa'aros sheyotzeh v'beruch ha'malachim. So the sa'aros which come from berurim of the malachim. Move gam b'etz chaim. So it's also in the etz chaim shar yud aleph. He says over there. Besod hein asu achi ish seir hein Esav. I'm sorry. Esav, my brother, is a man of hair. He said, this buyer, Bashar Hagdamos, so over the Shar Kadams, he explains Ayin Sham. So what's he bring me Esav over here for? It has to do with hair, I understand. That as the flow downwards of these hairs, which come from the Berurim of the Malachim Shekabar Nisaknu that had already been rebuilt. This causes also that the Malachim that are not in the Tikkun, Adaim Yuchlu L'Kabbalah, or that they can get the light too. Now let me read that again. Umash Bekan Ki Hamshachas Or, that pulling down the light, that is through the hairs. Because we're saying that the hairs are made out of the berurim of the malachim, shegavar nisaknu, that have already been, in other words, they're berurim. They're already been rebuilt and rehabilitated, and as a result of that, they're coming out of the hair of Erik Anpin. Zeh goram degam malachim shalot nisaknu. This causes the malachim, which are still down there. They have a similar DNA, but they're stuck. Adaim yuchul l'kabbalah or. It's time maybe over here we have in Sharkov Tas that the choice of the Baruch B'Shachal Malachim is Sahim the Var Sharcha Malachim Ayin Sham, that they also work to help the other Malachim to get themselves into shape. Like you got to line up, and they try to get everybody moving, I guess, in the right direction. V'kach gam kan sa'aros rosh Erik Anpin. So also we have here the hairs of the head of Erik Anpin, they're the very, very highest quality of the Revuim, as we see in Eitz Chaim. Now on number Mem Aleph, so we went, so going back to number Mem, the flame coding the chain, so therefore before this, so now you have already to begin with this concept, if it's coming from the bottom way down in the Biburim, it's coming from the bottom to the top, which is Mayim Nukvin. And then what happens is there is a Babarim Mem Aleph. Though I have a note to look at Mem Aleph, and he wants to say, to get more clarity, it says that they're coming from the bottom to the top, and this is Mayim Nukvin. But they're going to go through a chafing process, or what's the right word? I don't know the right word, of biru process in the Mochas Dimah, number Mem Aleph. He said, whoa. This is the secret of the tikkun, which is called the balance scale. Because he said that the Mochas Dimah is Yaakov. Yaakov is the concept of those three letters are the basis or the shorish of the maskala. So I think that's what he's saying. So that's what he said. He said, these are the malachim that came up from Bina. V'hadinim mahanukva, and the dinim come from the female side. And they died because they didn't have a relationship with Keser, I guess, with Eric Anpin. So he said, so therefore when the light went back up, Shuhu Sod HaMoach, which is the concept of what? That's the Sod of the Moach. Nishar v'ne'echaz v'chatika Kadisha. It remains and holding on to Atika Kadisha, v'chaklipa nishar lamata, the klipa remains down below. Now I need to read this again because there's a lot of information here. So then only chius comes out and they become sweetened. And all the whole concept, he says, of lights going backwards. This is all about the Sa'aros of Eric Anpin. V'gam Mayim Nukvim also have this concept of Mayim Nukvim, B'dinim Gemurim, a complete and total dinim. The Nibraha Orsho Lachem, and then there's the Ibira that takes place, Ad Khan. So we have like 1 minute, so if you give me maybe 1 or 2 minutes, we'll look at it again. It says, number Mem Aleph Ezecha V'Soda Tikun Maskala. So I said that offered to you that it's the secret of Yaakov. Shena'aseh Shorsh, the Malachim, B'Mochas Dimah becomes the root for the Malachim, and the Mochas Dimah commotion is boyer, so it has to be explained. So he says, this is what the Lukuti Torah says. He said, B'Zel D'Shono, he said, V'hem HaMalachim Sheyatzeh B'Bina. So the Malachim originally came out from Bina, V'Hadinim Mahanukva. So it's all, this dinim come from the nukva, I guess he means, from there, and they're all dinim. And they died because they were lacking that. So the chenka shechazah of the malach or, so therefore when the light now is being mavur, and it's coming back, shehu sod hamoach, which is the bringing them, the building up. I don't know what it means. This phrase means shehu sod hamoach. Nishra b'ne'echaz v'chatika kadisha. It remains holding on to a tika kadisha. In other words, I think he means it seeks a tika kadisha because that's what it was lacking before, and that's what caused it to die. And this is like the female looking for the male. It leaves that place, and the klipa stays down below. And then what happens is the nisbasmo, and as a result of that become a fragrance. Because chiyus ha'oros b'chozaras ha'oros heimsod hasa'aras b'chatika kadisha. So the whole concept of bringing light backwards, which is a Benedicta kind of thing. I know Bina's tshuva, I'm not sure. V'heim mayim nokvim v'dinim gemurim. This is what you're offering to Hashem. Nivra ha'or shalachem. This is where there is light in those dinim. Ad kan, ein sham, b'hara rabor. So maybe it's going to be something in the next Tahara. We'll see. That's it for today. Call to. Thank you.